What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for some more content for you. And Paul O'Keefe brought us some news, really interesting news actually, in the last 48 hours. And he says, in the next few days and weeks, Spurs are going to announce several contracts torn up. The rebuild is ginormous. So what we're going to be doing today is going through the squad, seeing which players are going to get their contracts ripped up. There's a lot to get through, to be honest, because a lot are in the runnings, that's for sure. But it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
Very. And I think, look, there's two ways looking at this, because I do think that it's probably a good thing that the board have decided to cut their losses with a lot of players they've failed to kind of get rid of, who are taking up crucial space in the squad, which we need to get rid of to kind of rejuvenate. But on the flip side, I don't want to see it happen before a new manager has had a good look at the squad and really made his own decision on who he wants to keep and who he's happy to let go of. But I also understand that takes time in itself. So do you want to leave it up to a manager who might say, look, I want to give these players a chance to prove themselves, and then that can take up even more time. I kind
of feel like if we go that route and wait for a manager, I think it probably is, all in all, the best course of action if you want to save money and if you want to look at the players even deeper. But I think that if you go down that route, you'll probably have to give them another season, not just look at them for a week in pre-season. You know what I mean?
That's the problem. I think if you do that, you have to ask the manager, look, you got this amount of time to decide. You have to be a bit cutthroat with these players, and with a lot of them you're thinking getting rid of. So I do understand it's a bit delicate, but I also don't want to as well be because look, let's be honest, with these contracts, if you're ripping up, that's money you're pretty much giving away. You're spending a lot of money ripping up these contracts. I don't want us to do that on players who necessarily that we potentially could have kept under a new manager.
Well, let's go in player by player for the players that we think could be in the running. So the first one is going to be Hugo Lloris with 1 year left in his contract. Yeah. I mean, ripping up his contract is a bit harsh because he's been such a good servant to the club. But whether you rip him up or let him go on a free just because he's been such a loyal servant, it's pretty much the same thing.
Essentially. Well, letting go on the free, I guess, is a bit different because at least you might save the money on the wages. If you rip it up, then you have to pretty much pay him out for his last year and then he'll move on a free. But I think when you're talking about this kind of discussion, I think he's probably a prime candidate just for someone so that we give him the free option to go wherever he wants. So, I mean, it's a bit of expensive because he's on a bit of wages, but I think he's probably someone we're thinking about ripping up his contract.
So, I mean, Lloris, unfortunately, he will be one that will be leaving at the end of the season. I think that's pretty much certain at this point. I mean, the next one's Ollie, Skip and Højbjerg. I think we can pass through them. Davies and Sanchez is the next one on the list. I mean, when you're looking at these players, you're looking at players that you can't shift on. We've tried to shift on Davies and Sanchez in the last couple of years. Hasn't worked. He doesn't get a look in anymore. So, I mean, he's got to be one, surely.
Yeah, the only question mark is, do you think we can get money for him? I guess we've tried to get money for him, haven't we, over the last few summers, and it just no one's been interested unless it's been a loan. Doesn't seem as anyone's interested in paying any money. You would have thought, I know, we signed him for 40 million way back when in 2017. You would have thought maybe a club in Europe might take a punt on him for 15 million, but as I said before, the European clubs are really struggling for money. And look, no Premier League club is going to take him, let's be honest. So I think he's one, especially I don't want to see him here next season. Whatever happens, even if you can't get any money for him, I think he's taking up a crucial spot in that centre-back spot where we need new quality and new players in there. So I think I'll rip it up I mean, try and get a bit of money. And look, is there no one who can spend even 5 million on him, do you think? You know what I mean?
The thing is, we've spoken about it in the past. We've heard rumours in the past that we'd even take like 10, 15 million for him. No takers.
Yeah. So I guess for me, if it's a case between have him in the squad next season or rip it up, I'd rip it up.
Yeah, agreed. Sonny, Richarlison, Kane, no. Emerson, no. Perisic?
There's a case for it. There's a case for it. I mean, he's on big wages. So, I mean, he was on, 180 grand a week or something because he came on a free.
Yeah.
In terms of the season he's had, he's a lot of goal contributions, but off the ball, big question marks. He's also had a really bad period of form where even on the ball, he was really sloppy. He is getting on a bit. If you're a new manager wanting to bring new ideas and having a fresh squad, do you want a 35-year-old, 34, probably going to be 35, going to actually 35-year-old Perisic as a wing option or wing back option? Or would you rather just have that as a newly available spot for a younger player?
The thing is with Perisic, right? I think
He does bring good experience, though.
Yeah, he does, but I think you will have takers for him. I don't think you'll have takers to spend money on him, but I think Inter Milan would take him back in a heartbeat for a season or two. I think he'll do really well there as well. And I think that similar to Lloris, like maybe it's not a case that you rip up his contract because he's been so bad, but it's a case of let him go for free and get the wages off the bill.
I also think he doesn't quite fit what we want now, because he definitely came clearly as a Conte kind of signing. He came as when we're a team that's definitely playing a back three, and that wing back system very specific to how Conte wants to play. And we're in the Champions League. We might have hoped to have. I think he came here thinking, I want to win a trophy in the next 2 seasons or something. I want to challenge for things. And he thought because we've got top 4, that's what he was joining. Now we're in a different place. So I don't think he kind of suits what we need as well, especially if we're moving to a back 4. I think he definitely doesn't fit what we want. So I think if a manager, if we can't get any takers for him and a manager doesn't fancy him and move him to a back 4, I think it makes sense to rip it up, make space in the squad.
All right, so Perisic is one. Next on the list is Eric Dier. I mean, we have heard from the likes of Paul O'Keefe that we will be offering him a new contract. So that's not what anyone wants to hear, to be honest. I mean, why? Like, why would you offer Eric Dier a new contract? Never mind offering him a new contract, but offering him a new contract before a manager even comes in. It just makes no sense.
Makes no sense. In terms of ripping up his contract, I mean, part of me wants to. Part of me thinks,
but we know it's not going to happen.
Would you get money for him? Would you get money from another Premier League team, maybe a bottom half Premier League team? I think you would. I would like to think you would get a bit of money for him. So I can't see him ripping up his contract.
If Connor Cody got that move to Everton, why can't Eric Dier get a move to a similar ranked team?
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago he was in the squad. He got a call up, didn't he? Like in March, the March break.
However disgraceful that call up was.
Yeah, but he's been absolutely horrendous this season. I don't think a new manager was going to look at him thinking he wants him to be his new centre back for next season. So I would like to sell. Looks like we're going to sign him a new deal anyway, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But I don't think it's right to rip up Dier's contract anyway. I wouldn't rip it up.
I would sell him though.
Yeah,
get him out the door.
Yeah.
But we're offering him a new contract. It just makes no sense.
No, that makes no sense.
Obviously, Coutinho Romero, no. This is an interesting one. Ryan Sessegnon. Because he's only 22 years of age, but ever since we've signed him... 23, 22 or 23. But when we signed him, he just has not kicked on at all since then.
Gotten worse, if anything.
Exactly. So is this
23 years of age, yeah.
Is this one where we rip up his contract now, just cut our losses and let him go? How long does he have left in his contract?
Well, he probably signed a long contract. He got 2 years left still. He's got 2 years left still. Look, I don't
imagine he was on big wages either.
I don't think there's going to be many takers, to be honest, right now for Ryan Sessegnon. It's not just his form, it's his injury record as well, which is absolutely terrible. When you've got a patchy player who's also injury prone, that's like a recipe for disaster. Because it means when they are fit, it's like 50-50 where they play well and then they're barely ever fit anyway. So, I mean, judging what we've seen, I would consider ripping up. But I think with a player with 2 years left, I don't think he's in danger of it. But I honestly... I think we need that space for an upgrade. If like Reguilon comes back, I'd rather just go with Reguilon than Sessegnon.
It's true.
And Doji there as well.
It's true, but he is an English player, and we need the English quota. And taking away another English player and replacing him for a foreign player, that doesn't stand our squad in good stead.
His current market value on transfer market is 22 million.
That is rubbish.
We're definitely not going to be ripping anyone's contract who has a market value of 20
He does
million.
not have a market value. That is not his market value anymore.
I said it's gone down from 35 million.
I would say his current market value is probably closer to like 10 million, 7 million, something like that.
Yeah, 20. I guess young English player who's playing the Premier League. I guess maybe that's why it is, but I agree. 22 million seems to be a high.
So what are we saying? Is he in danger of it?
I don't think so. 2 years left. He's a good age. I think because of his youth as well, and they want to give him a chance under a manager who's going to give younger players more of a chance, maybe. So I don't think he is.
He might get a last chance saloon under a next manager. Yeah, that's probably right. So Forster, Kulusevski, Porro, no.
Forster?
No, I don't think Forster is in danger of it.
Not just because he's been bad, but because, would you want maybe a younger backup keeper, maybe? I don't know.
Look, I think the job is big enough as it is this summer. Lloris is going to go. Like, we can't bring in 20,000 new players, you know what I mean? Like, Forster as a backup for next season, I'm more than happy with that.
I'm happy with it, but it's whether he's old. That's the thing.
Yeah, as a backup, I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's unlikely, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't think Forster's going to be in danger of that, as well as he's done us proud this season as well. He stepped in admirably well. So I think he'll get commended for that, and I think he'll be around here next season. So Kulusevski, Porro, no. What about Japhet Tanganga?
Is there any chance we get money for? I mean, we tried to sell him we nearly loaned him out to AC Milan not so long ago.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're talking about tearing up his contract. Look, call a spade a spade. He's been pretty bad this season whenever he has played. It doesn't help that
And the season before.
It doesn't help that he really gets inconsistent minutes and he gets played in different positions. So I do feel for him, but at the end of the day, you've got to show all you can when you're on the pitch. And he's been really poor quality-wise. He gets beaten a lot. I'd rather sell him than rip up his contract. But like, do I really see him taking up a space anyway? Like in the squad, even next season, even if he's not sold, like I don't think we consider him a first team player for next season.
24 years of age now as well. He's not even like spring chicken no more.
But he's one of those players like Sanchez. If he's in the squad, like he'll be a first team player. Like for Tanganga, like we can leave him out of squads. You know what I mean? Just and I don't know if we rip up his contract.
He has got 2025, so he's still got a couple of years left.
2 years left.
Market value of 9 million.
If there's a choice between having him part of the squad or rip up his contract, I probably would rip it up, to be honest. I don't think he's good enough. But I think there's a chance, like what I'm saying is I think there's a chance he can stay here and just stay in the reserves, if you know what I mean.
If AC Milan were interested in him last season, which they were, like surely you might be able to find a team to take him, whether it be for 5 million or whatever.
I don't think we're going to... Yeah, I would like to think we can probably get some money from him. Again, a young defender, I don't think we're probably not going to rip up his contract.
I agree.
Not. Although quality-wise, you could argue there's a case for it.
Yeah. Lucas Moura obviously leaving. Pape Matar, Rodrigo Bentancur, no. What about Ben Davies?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think we'll rip up his contract.
I agree.
I don't think we'll rip up his contract. I think he's still playing at a decent level. The only thing with Ben Davies is I don't want him and Longley again in the squad because one of them has to play, and I don't want it to be that scenario.
Surely we're not going to sign Longley. I mean, there are rumours.
There are rumours, and Ryan Mason's calling for us to sign him. You know, so he said in this conference, didn't he? He said these are the kind of players we want. So he said that in this press conference. He said he wants us to keep Longley.
Jesus Christ.
I would keep one of them and then upgrade on the other in terms of Davis and Longley. But if we keep Longley, in a way, I would want us to rip up Davis' contract because I don't think he's good enough to play left back anymore. I
agree with that, but you don't think Ben Davis we could actually sell? We can actually get a fee for?
Yeah, you're probably right. You'd like to think so.
Because he's not that bad where you have to rip up his contract.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I don't think we get more than 10 million for him.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but I don't think he's that bad where you have to rip up his contract.
No, Davis, we can't rip up Davis's contract.
The thing is, with what Ben Davis is, he's a model professional, right? He comes in, he does his job. Maybe he might not be good enough. That's a fair argument to make, but he's not like a bad apple and a bad egg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
So I don't think Ben Davis is part of that list.
No.
The rest of them, obviously, Basuma, no. Let's talk about the loan players now. Sergio Reguilon.
The thing is, Reguilon, he's had a terrible loan spell, and obviously it wasn't fancied.
Might by injuries mainly.
Exactly, but that's not great. Obviously, I don't know how long his contract was when he signed it. I still think there's a good player in there, definitely a good left back. So I also think you can probably... I mean, I would like to say you get a bit of money for him, but clearly we couldn't last season. Again, if you want to sell him, we signed him for what, 30 million? So Levy's going to want at least half of that back, at least, probably. And again, you're only getting that really from a Premier League team. All the European teams are only going to want a loan. But I don't think you rip up his contract.
He's got 2 years left. And you got to remember, when we signed this guy, he was one of the most sought-after left-backs in Europe.
Yeah, I don't think it's Reguilon. I don't think Reguilon you'll rip it up.
It depends, though. Like, if these injuries are really impacting him and he's got, like, a lasting, problem, then it could be a case that you do.
If there are literally I guess there were no takers last summer. And again, we had to loan him out.
And it's just another year in the abyss for him.
I guess he is in danger of it.
I think he's in danger of it.
I think he is in danger of it. Just because of those injuries.
Are we putting him on the list or are we leaving him out?
I think he's just going to be okay.
All right, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, Sergio Reguilon. But the next guy I don't think will be getting the benefit of the doubt, and that is Harry Winks.
No, I think he's ripped up already.
Yeah.
I reckon they've already done it.
He's gone to Sampdoria, albeit I think they really like him there in Sampdoria, but he did get relegated at bottom. So I think Harry Winks is definitely on that list.
Yeah, I don't think there's any future of him at Tottenham. Even under a new manager, I don't think he's going to want Harry. Like, we've got so many midfielders right now. He's just wages wasted at the moment. And also, he just doesn't seem like to be a happy figure around the club as well. Always giving interviews about how unhappy he is and whatever. So I don't think Winks is staying here. I think he's on the list.
Bryan Gil, I don't think so. I think, young player, up and coming, doing well out in Sevilla. I think a new manager, especially someone like Arne Slot, will want to see a look of him.
100%. I don't think he's getting cancelled.
Giovanni Lo Celso.
No, because I think he would sell him to Villa.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No.
I think because I was talking about this on the update with Brian yesterday, and I was saying it's completely different, Giovanni Lo Celso, to maybe someone like Tanguy Ndombele, which we'll get into in a second, but you can actually get a fee with Lo Celso.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Lo Celso will cancel his contract. It'd be stupid too.
Joe Roden. Can't believe he's still at the club.
Yeah, I know, he's still here. Was a bit of a hit and miss loan spell at Rennes, wasn't it? Are we gonna cancel it? I guess again, we tried to get rid of him, we could only flog him off on loan. We know there were no takers.
2 years left. He does have an option to buy on his loan with Rennes.
I don't think they're going to take it. It doesn't seem they're going to take it, does it?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to cancel his contract, though. I think even if it's another loan spell, I reckon there's a good chance we don't cancel it. So I don't think it's him.
I think there's a big chance of it. Because, again, no takers, unless we keep loaning him out until his contract expires. 2 more loans. Which could be a case.
Did he show enough at Rennes that someone could buy him?
I don't think so. It could be a case. He was
quite good at the beginning.
It could be a case of a couple of loans in there for Rennes until. I'm just trying to see how many games he played. 14 games, not that many.
He started, and majority of them were at the start.
Yeah,
of the loan spell as well, and then he lost his place. Never really got it back.
Yeah, I actually think if we can't find another loan spell for Joe Roden, I don't think we're going to find someone to part with money for him. I think if we can't find another loan spell for him, I think he could be one of those guys.
Yeah, I can't see anyone in Europe buying him. It's whether a Premier League team buys him or a Championship team buys him. Again, we signed him for 12 million, not getting that back.
Yeah, maybe he could go back to Swansea.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But again, would they only take him on a free, or were they willing to pay? Maybe get a few million. I think he is a bit in danger, actually, when you think about it. He is a bit of a danger.
I'm going to put Roden on the list because I think it is there. Next up, after Roden, I think is Tanguy Ndombele. Yeah, that's got to be ripped up.
I think he's in massive. I think that's who they're talking about when they're talking about ripping up contracts. Is someone like Ndombele. To be honest, big wages, can't shift him for love nor money. No one's buying him for the fee that we want. So for me, as I've said before, I'd rather a manager takes a look at him. To be honest, because I think there's so much quality there that it would be stupid to rip it up.
That's the problem with Ndombele. Like, he'll look amazing on the training pitch, but then in practice in a game, he's just doesn't do it. I mean, yeah, fine, you'll see magic moments in there from Tanguy Ndombele because of the sheer quality that he does have. But I don't think his attitude, application, or anything like that to be a proper out-and-out Premier League footballer for what we're trying to achieve is there. I just don't think it's there.
But it needs proper, maybe a new manager can motivate him in a different way. Some players need different things to motivate them. And I just think, as much as I agree with what you're saying is 100% right, but doesn't mean that I just think the amount of quality that is in that player, I think if a manager, I think it'd be stupid to chuck it away without a new manager having a look at him and just making his own mind up and thinking maybe I can motivate him in a different way and maybe I can get a different level of performance out of him, in my opinion. Because I think that he's so unique and he's exactly a kind of player that we don't have as well. So if a manager thinks he can motivate him, I'm willing to give it a go, honestly, because I think there's too much quality there
what's
just to chuck.
What's his loan spell been like at Napoli? Like, I know they've won the league and they've had a really good season, but he's only played a bit part role.
He played 30 games, but
most of them off
subs.
the bench.
Yeah, a lot of them being subs, yeah.
And it probably says a lot. Like, if we've loaned him to Napoli, they've won the league, obviously, in a really good season, the best since the 90s or early 90s since Maradona was there. And if they don't want to take him up, there's got to be a good reason for that.
Well, probably the money we're demanding. And
well, if we're thinking about terminating his contract, then surely we'll be able to take anything for him. Literally, $5 million.
We gave him $200,000 a week. We gave him that contract, which makes him pretty much impossible to shift. Which I get. Which I look at the end of the day, yeah. If we can't sell him, rip it up, and if we really want rid of him, 100%, I agree, and I do think that's probably the case. I'm just saying, I think the manager. With someone like Ndombele's quality, we should think before ripping it up. But in my opinion, I don't think we should just do it before a new manager comes out. I think that would be a silly move. But
realistically, it will get ripped up.
It looks like it, yeah. It looks like he's probably on the list, 100%. I'm just saying I think it would be a mistake, but I do think he's on the list. I agree.
Harvey White.
I think he's also probably on the list because I don't know how well his loan spells have gone.
He's 21 already. Well.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see us getting any money for him right now. I don't think he's really going to be for the Premier League. Although it is harsh, but I think he's probably on the list as well.
Harvey White has played 15 games at Derby. I don't know how many is subs
and again,
or starts.
I saw, when he at the start of the season, I was seeing clips about him like playing well.
I think that was literally just from one game.
One game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Harvey White. If he's definitely not going to be part of the first team. So it's whether we can shift him. I can't, like, based on his loan spells, are we going to be able to convince anyone to part money for him?
It's a shame with Harvey White because any time that we've seen him in a Tottenham shirt, we've actually seen glimpses of quality, haven't we?
They've been friendlies. You know, it's hard to judge too much.
True.
I mean, he's played okay, but there's nothing to suggest like.
Didn't he have a Premier League appearance this year?
This year?
Yeah, he came on against Crystal Palace in the 4-0, didn't he?
Yeah, again 4-0 up. And look, I'm not saying he's been bad or anything, but has he shown anything to suggest that he can be part of the first team here? It's a high standard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't think so.
I agree. So White will probably be on that list. So the list as it goes is Lloris, Sanchez, Perisic, Winks, Roden, Ndombele, and White. And on top of that, Lucas Moura is going on a free as well. So that's 8 players.
8 players. That is several.
8 players.
Yeah, that is a lot. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money down the drain. But at the end of the day, if it opens up space in the squad for us to rebuild and get new players in there, it probably needs to be done.
Do you think that's unrealistic, though, the 8 players to go? Because that means we're going to need to bring in 8 players and then probably...
Because a lot of them are on loan, so not necessarily...
True. 8. Well, who's on loan? You've got Roden, Winks and Ndombele on loan. Yeah, that's fair enough. So you'd probably need to bring in 4 players to caveat that.
We know we need to do that anyway. We know we need to do that in the summer. It's a big summer ahead. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding and getting back to our values. But then if we're losing Kane on top of that, then all of a sudden you're thinking,
I don't think
have we lost too much to do? I know we don't think so. No, I don't think so either. But I'm just saying, if it does come to pass, then all of a sudden you're thinking you have to find that new star striker and all these other players as well. It's a tough job.
All right, well, there you have it. Those are the contracts that we think are going to be ripped up by Daniel Levy this summer. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree or if any other names come up to mind that you think contracts are going to be ripped up in front of their face at Hotspur Way just before the summer. But thank you, everyone, for watching today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come